What is up, you guys? It's the Fallout with here, and today I'm going to be doing a what if. What if Deku was a Revenant? Now, this is not your typical Revenant. Well, technically, this is not a freaking Mortal Kombat Revenant. You know what? This is not freaking Scorpion from, Mortal Kombat. No, this is going to be Deku being a Revenant. He's going to have glowing eyes, and his skin's a little, his skin's a little grayish. Oh, shit, sorry about that. His skin's going to be a little grayish and all that stuff, or, if anything, white-complected. We start off as Deku in canon. Deku having most of his life in canon, just being a part of this, I can't say spectrum, because there's multiple universes, so I'm just going to say this. Deku's life was living up to canon, and, he technically dies. Then he becomes a Revenant. So, that explains it all, but how does he die? And when does he die? Well, we start off with Deku just being himself. He lives life the way he normally did in the anime. But Deku was actually watched. They actually watched him. And by they, I mean scientist. Well, at least the scientist that was working for the doctor that stole Deku's quirk. They wanted to try something out, since Deku was a former patient who truly wanted to have a quirk. They wanted to see if they can reawaken a quirk. And what do I mean by that? I mean, could they have taken Deku's quirk and somehow reawakened it? Now, let me explain. While Deku's pretty much trying to walk home, he gets stopped by a van. And pretty much he gets kidnapped. And while this happens, the doctors start to talk to him, saying that he's very special. A lot of people, who get their quirks taken away, they're usually kids, but they suffer with illnesses and sicknesses. In Deku's case, he's technically more alive and healthy. And, with that, if you remember one of the Wow Wow Pussycats who got, I forgot her name, to be honest. But she's the one who could, who had a sensing quirk. She has the ability to sense, but, when she was having her quirk taken away from her, she looked like she was dulled in life. Well, technically, her body was not the same until a few days later. But for kids, it would be sick because technically they wouldn't have the ability to fight it. Now, they tell him that he is special because of basically what I just said right now, that their quirks were taken away. Deku says, what does he mean? What do they mean by that? And it's just as they said. Somebody took Deku's quirk, and Deku now is wondering who. And they tell him it's a man named One For All. Technically, they're working for the doctor, but they know who the doctor's working for. Saying that he's an associate, but since, there's a bunch of security and personnel, even if they told him, he can't do anything about it. And what happens is Deku gets tortured. Well, not tortured, he gets electrocuted. So, yeah, never mind. He gets tortured. And Deku is suffering a lot, as one would expect after getting electroshock therapy. The doctor's name, he's nothing, but his name is, let's just say Cunningham, Dr. Cunningham. He tries to electrocute Deku day in and day out. if they can somehow reawaken the quirk by shocking it a couple of times, they could somehow process something. And when Deku gets electrocuted, he shows abnormal signs in the lungs. Basically, his father learns how to spit fire, so technically he has that ability too, but he can't awaken it or anything like that. So they shock him so many times, and Deku thinks that, well, if he gets electrocuted still, he might actually reawaken his quirk, and he could somehow leave and become a hero. So technically, he doesn't fight back; he just lets it happen. But if that happens, technically, well, he doesn't know it yet, but they're trying to they're planning on their goal is to technically make a Nomu out of one of these out of Deku. But Deku doesn't know this until 2 months later, after being electrocuted, actually showing more signs of having the Spitfire quirk. They say that, well, subject is now more what's the word, capable to merge with the with Nomu 6671. Let's just say that, just a random number. And Deku says, what does he mean by merging with a Nomu? And he sees what the Nomu looks like, and then he realizes that's why they wanted to reawaken it. They probably want to use that thing, whatever it is, to do that to him. And basically, Deku is sad. Deku is trying to fight back now, but at the same time, he's been weak. He's gotten weaker over the past 2 months. All they fed him was broccoli and rice, and a bit of fish. Basically, just enough food to get him to make him still live on the day to day, on every day, from day to day. And Deku doesn't know what to do. He's scared now. He thinks that this whole time he was just tortured for no good reason. And the doctor says he still wants that power to reawaken. But then Deku is trying to do something, but the doctors say something's wrong with his hands, saying that his hands are showing this weird electrical magnetic pulse. And they say that this kid may actually have a second quirk from possibly the mother, which is a telekinesis quirk. And Deku is saying he has his mother's quirk too. That's pretty nice. And this is when they say that they will need to do more testing, so that way he can be even more compatible with the Nomu. So they do even more electroshock therapy, till the doctor gets so frustrated with not being able to open this one. So the doctor does something that he's gonna end up regretting. Dr. Cunningham decides to freaking go at a higher voltage, way higher than normal. And he wants to see some results. And when he gets 0.1%, he accidentally gets so excited that, well, he accidentally dials it even further to the highest it can go. Basically, Deku's brain is being it's burning up so much that now you can hear sizzling and it being fried. Deku's veins are pretty much not electrocuted, but it's pretty much like glowing for a couple of seconds, and after that he's just burnt. His skin is more like, well, if any of you guys know what being struck by lightning is, some people have seen these veins on the person's back or wherever where the lightning hit, show the veins being so being like that of thunder or lightning. And the guy says, "Oh no, we screwed up." And they basically say, "Oh, well, throw him away." And they said, "But Mr. Cunningham, what if we have to throw him away? We I I messed up and got too excited. I should have actually taken more precautionaries. Shit, sorry. I should have taken more steps into this whole situation, but in the end, I messed up. But there's more people without quirks, so we can find more of them. This kid was a good subject, but in the end, it's technically a lost cause." And going into canon, or not going into canon, going into Deku's room, they put him in there for one last time, so that way they could basically throw him away in the morning. In the morning, he basically wakes up. No doctor, nobody's awake. No security, no nothing. Today, he is all by himself, and he opens his door and basically sees that there's nothing. Sees an empty void. And Deku's wondering, where's he at? And this is when something in his mind starts to tell him that he's nowhere, yet he's somewhere. And Deku says, what does he mean? And who's talking? And basically, he says, "My name is Bobby. Now, mind all the references of King of the Hill, but I want to tell you something. I've seen the way you've done. Hold on to your happiness, your joy, thinking that you were going to become someone special, but in the end, you died. I'm not going to sugarcoat this, kid, but you've hit rock freaking bottom. And now you're in a special place. Well, it's called hell." And Deku says, "What do you mean, hell?" "Well, you're in hell. That's all I can say. Technically, that's all there is. You are not going to hell, though, even though you're in it. Because you're going to actually turn into something special." And Deku is saying, "Special?" And he says, "Yes, you're going to be something special. A creature of hatred. Well, something that hates a lot. And you are going to be weird. Well, that's a given. And not only that, I've given you a bonus here and there. I want to see how this plays out." And Deku says, what do you mean?" I'm in hell, and I'm dead." And he says, "Yes, you're dead right now. But once I bring you back to life, oh gosh, you are really, really going to, well, help me out here." And Deku says, "What do you need?" And this guy says, "I need you to kill someone." And Deku says, "Kill? I don't want to kill. I'm I'm someone who wants to be good." And he says, yeah, I know. You want to be good, and by technicality, I've kind of stolen you. So, I'm deciding that help me out, and I'll help you out. I promise, I'm not actually tricking you here. There's nothing that I would, well, dream of besides tricking you, because you are technically a ticket out of here. Or not a ticket out of here, a ticket to getting what I want. Well, to helping me getting what I want. And he says, "What do you want?" And he says, "I want you to kill All for One." And Deku says, "All for One?" And this is when he says, "But I don't want to kill." And he says, "Nonsense. Of course you want to kill. Come on, think about it." He shows him his whole life. Shows him an actual canon story of how Deku could have possibly lived. And seeing his happiness, well, seeing him happy in this world. And this is when Deku says, "Is that supposed to be me?" And Bobby says yes. Bobby is technically a demon. But, I decided to give him Bobby because he reminds me of a certain person, certain YouTuber. Hey, and if you're watching this, yeah, you know, kind of, giving you a role in. I'm giving you a role in my video, but he'll probably be okay with it. So anyway, he tells him, "I want you to kill him, and you can't tell me you don't want to kill him." And he says, "Look around. Look where you're at. Look what has been done to you." Oh, the humility of it all. The sacrifices that were made upon you. You're telling me you don't hate the fact that this man decided to ruin your life even more? You could have actually had a firepower. Actually been really strong. An Endeavor impersonation, but somewhat strong enough to be a hero. A good hero, by the way. But that was taken away from you. Now you're left dead. And with all this anger. And this is when he starts using his influence. The demon decides to give him a little bit of hatred. Not his hatred. He's actually personifying Deku's hatred around him. Making him see all the faces right then and there. Making him see the people who have such a cushy life, but at the same time, see the fact that it was all because they decided to work on him, and they're not suffering at all. He's dead because these people decided to kill him. A child, no less. They didn't care about him. And now they get to go to sleep on their nice bed with the people they love, with the money they have, and everything. And Bobby says, "Now, once you wake up, it's going to be hard to control yourself, but I'll talk to you here and there. And I know you want to, and I know you really want to kill, but hold off on that for a while. Alright?" This is when Deku starts to actually scream. And this is when Deku in real life starts to wake up. His eyes glow into that green that he has. Glows in his color. But his veins, his veins are a different color. Now, I don't have any, revenant creatures that actually have the ability to, look different. I wanted to try something with that, but I don't have any editing skills, so maybe if I ever got a PC or something like that, I can work on stuff like this, but I don't. So I make do with this. Now, Deku wakes up and starts to look around, and he starts to breathe. Now, when he breathes, it's very hard to breathe. He's trying so hard, and it hurts. It hurts so much. And then when he tries to cough, he shoots out fire, and he starts to realize that he has a quirk. Not only that, his body is more ripped. Not only that, his body is more bony. And it looks like a lot of the cuts that he had previously are gone. No more stitching, it's just scars now. And not only that, he's just angry. He feels it. And he just realizes that they said that he was a Revenant. Deku sees on himself in the mirror and sees that he's a freak. And this is when he just starts remembering everything that guy says. And he starts to punch the window until he punches it so many times until the concrete behind it starts to crack a bit. And this is when he says he will kill them all for what they have done. He's not gonna let them just live while he dies. And that's where I'll end it off right here. I was supposed to do this a week ago, but a lot of complications and one of my videos screwed up. And not only that, I have to do this one where somebody asked me, so I wanted to at least try to do a video about what if Deku had servants from Fate Grand Order. But anyway, if you liked it, like, comment, do subscribe to the channel here, people. This has been the Fallout with a Fear. Bye.